Welcome to the Cardboard Guide. Unfortunately, we could not come to SorceryCon because it's in the US, but we did something almost just as good.
We had a roaming reporter at SorceryCon, which was Darryl StichflammeNZ, and he went around to all the artists and asked them a ton of questions. We're going to present that to you in this video, so check it out.
Hey everyone, my name's Darryl. I'm the roving reporter for Cardboard Guide here at SorceryCon.
Wow.
How you doing?
The sorcery cards that you have done.
Yeah.
What was your favorite piece to work on and why?
Let's see. I enjoyed doing the Overburdened Squire because I had my son grab all of the Ren Fair weapons we had in the house, as well as umbrellas and broomsticks and such, and carry it all together. And I took a big photograph of Tim, and while it's not specifically Tim, he posed for it, and I enjoyed doing that and putting all the crazy stuff, all the lances and things. I enjoyed doing the weightless fairy, or the weightless squire, because of the silly, the little gnome, the fairies in the air. I rarely get to do something that whimsical, even though I do a lot of whimsical stuff. It was certainly fun to be asked specifically to do something that playful. And people have seemed to have made memes around Just a Rock and the Grievous Insult. And the Grievous Insult guy, I painted. I went back and forth with Eric on it because we kept tweaking the mouth just to make it exactly the way he wanted it. So in the end, the card is slightly different than the painting because the painting, it didn't have the mouth tweaked over and over and over and over and over. But I think the end result is something that people are relating to, and it's pretty strong. But thank you. I hope people enjoy the game.
As far as we know, one sorcery card.
Right.
Font of Life. What was the inspiration behind the work on the cards?
It was just like finding a source of water that had been, used in the past. So there's obviously some fountain work going into routing it. But whoever made that, it's supposed to be a mystery. It's just like you discover it, and then you find out what its properties are, and then it's just. I like that kind of a storyline, where you discover some mystical thing, and then you figure out what it's about. And so it's just based on that, really.
All right, turns out I'm at the wrong place. I'm Darryl with Cardboard Guide. Welcome to SorceryCon.
Hey, Jeff Mangas here at SorceryCon. What's going on?
So the one question that Jens and Sophie have is, out of the sorcery cards that you've done, what was your favorite to work on, and why was it your favorite to work on?
It's a little tough to make that choice, of course.
Well, you've got a couple.
There's I can tell you easily the one from each set.
Okay.
The first set, the one that I liked the most, was Mordred Druids. Druids are a subject I've long been associated with. I love the kind of natural mystical presence that Druids have. And that one was really different because of that warm sunset sky that's in it. Usually it's a very green piece, and that one's not green at all. I really enjoyed that painting. But Eric asked if he could purchase that one, and I was not about to say no to that offer. So that is part of Eric's collection nowadays. And for Arthurian Legends, the piece I really like the most is Pebbled Path, which is not not a druid scene, but it's definitely a forest scene. That is a true landscape painting with a tiny bit of fantasy element, but it works really well for the game, and I was really happy at the outcome of that painting. Enjoy to see how big it really is.
Yeah. But what is the favorite piece that you've painted for Sorcery so far, and why?
Yeah, that's a hard question. I like them all, but I would have to go with the Yellow Knights. It's a piece that really speaks to me because I really like to paint with like gold light, and knights have always been a theme that I've liked to draw and paint. So definitely the Yellow Knight, but it's really hard for me to pick one. And yeah, I'm really happy to be here. Really, really excited.
We got 6 vendors.
Hello, I'm Steve Frazier with Cold Foil Heroes.
So, you have the...
Here is my favorite artwork for sorcery. It's a Blade of Frogs, and because I think it is the most detail I take there, and the composition is like abstraction. I think about abstraction colors where I could get and I like it. Yes.
If you enjoyed watching this video, please smash the like button and consider becoming a subscriber. For a small channel like ours, it really helps out. Thank you.
I gotta make sure. Here,
Viking. And because it was I like Vikings, and I wanted to really try to capture an atmosphere of chaos and violence, and I think I was able to do that even though the main figure is standing there calmly looking. It's still menacing. So yeah, that's one of my favorite pieces.
Here, let me. I think my favorite one to work on was probably Burning Hands, because figuring out how to do the fire was a really interesting problem for me to solve, and I had to set up like a bunch of lighting and try to get the reflections right and try to get the shadows right, and it just lent itself to a very interesting method of painting. Fire's hard to capture, but it was really fun.
So I have quite a few that I really like a lot, but from Arthurian Legends, Serpelius was a lot of fun. It was pretty open to surrealism kind of thing, so I was able to combine. You're supposed to combine like his story in one image, so it was kind of a bunch of different elements that don't really work together realistically, but I was able to play with it and make it look like he was underwater, but he's not really underwater, and the fish have bubbles flowing off of them, but they're underwater, so it kind of just played back and forth with reality and not reality, and I don't know. It was just a weird piece to work with, and it was a lot of fun.
Same situation, like you can destroy like half the board, and it just kind of like feels really bad. This is happening like at the same time.
Okay, my favorite is the Ribble Bogart right here behind me. It's my favorite because it's the most similar to the fine artwork that I do, and although I was given a certain amount of direction by Eric, which was to create sort of a shape-shifting creature, like a bizarre, unusual kind of animal. It sort of falls in with what I do normally. So I started painting it, and then because I work a lot with themes on the human condition, it turns out that I had experienced a falling out with someone and sort of a bit of a mistreatment as far as I was concerned. So the painting was a bit of a cathartic kind of reflection and meditation on what had happened. And then it turned into a painting sort of on the theme of pearls before swine. So the mice at the base of the Ribble Bogart are the pearls, and the Ribble Bogart is the swine. and that's my favorite painting of the whole series.
Today, we will be at tables 41 starting at tables 41 up to tables 100.
Favorite sorcery piece? It'd probably have to be the Death Dealer. That was a big assignment, trying to do a follow-up for a Frazetta piece, which is probably the most iconic painting there is in fantasy art. But I just I tried to keep it simple and just do a powerful painting, and luckily it kind of came together. It wasn't what was planned, but it all worked out in the end. And it was the biggest piece I did, so I was glad that was the case. It wasn't a tiny one. But yeah, Death Dealer, that would have to be number one for me.
Maybe I think I got it working.
All right, Sorcery. Favorite piece that you've worked on for Sorcery, and why is it your favorite?
Oh, my favorite is not out yet. So my second favorite would be the Dream Quest, and I like it so much. I did like both versions. I painted 2 versions of this. What's my favorite thing about it is how quirky it is. I like all the details, and I really enjoyed like painting all those little things for viewer to find. So yeah, that's why it's my favorite card.
Here with Alex West, one of the co-founders and organizers of SorceryCon. How do you think the event's gone so far, Alex?
I like really smashingly well. People have been coming up to me the whole time and just been like, it's so great that this event exists. And I'm like, it's really great that you came, because like it wouldn't exist without you. Lots of like little details, like we had lunch today and yesterday. And, people like forget to eat, but then the fact that you can just walk 10 feet over and grab a sandwich, people are like, this is the best sandwich I've had in Vegas. I'm like, it's actually just a medium good sandwich, but you're really hungry. Yeah. But it's been great. Like last night, Eric's Curiosity did a fireside chat, spoiled the Dragonlord, and it was like, like 100 people kind of like leaning forward on their seat, just like rapidly watching. And, I think the vibes have been good. There's some awesome cosplayers here. Like, I wasn't going to cosplay, but then, there were like 10 people who were like, here's my Adept Illusionist costume. So I was like, yeah, I'll do that too. So, like, I'm being inspired by other people here. I'd say the only thing that's been a rough point is the tournament software is like a little finicky, but we've got a great judge staff who, jumped in and did hand pairings. So, I think it's going great.
What is your favorite piece that you've done for Sorcery that's been revealed, and why is it your favorite piece?
So, definitely my first and favorite piece is Kairos the Archivist, and the reason for that is, aside from it having an opportunity to do something I didn't always get a chance to do, which is a lot of architecture, a massive archway and massive libraries, but it also gave me an opportunity to do a lot of kind of hidden things and over 88 different symbols. There are Celtic and Norse symbols that represent everything from elements, minerals, astrology, horoscopes, all kinds of astronomy. So there's so much science involved in that piece, especially with the Archivist. Kairos is a manifestation, a physical, corporeal manifestation of the aspect of time itself. So I'm dealing with science, I'm dealing with something that is documenting the entire world of the Dragonlord, which has been a story I wrote back in 2005 and a whole world I built. So he is really the place to go when you want to know all the knowledge about the Dragonlord's world. So between that, and then the second reason that I really love this piece for is that I do a Patreon live, and every single painting that I did for Sorcery was done live. Hundreds and hundreds of hours of filming. So that painting specifically, all those books, the hundreds of books that are on the shelves, and some of the hidden specimens and so forth, those are actually, many of them are influenced, most of them are influenced by my members of my Patreon. So I would do things like, all right guys, we just did the symbol for calcium. What's the next symbol going to be in that mineral list? We could do magnesium, we could do sulfur. And what color book should we do? So I would ask them, and then the chat would light up with, okay, do it purple, do this, do the magnesium. And then other things like specimens. I said, all right, so we have a chance here. At this point in time in history, the Dragonlord would have been creating rodents and possibly some other kinds of mammals. So what combination of creatures should we do? Well, how about a rat cat? Or do we want to do a squirrel? And so they would all start pitching in. So it was very much a collaborative piece in that I would allow my audience, and I do this in a lot of my pieces, to say, what do you think about this? What's your thoughts on it? And it would poll the audience, and then they would come up with a decision. So it was so much fun because it was an interactive piece, not just with the way the painting is, but the fact that my audience followed along, my Patreon members, and they got a chance to throw input in. So every one of them that participated, it was like 40 or something that were on the live when I was painting it, they would be, they know that they had a say in that piece in some way, shape, and form. They kind of voted, if you will. And as an artist, it's one of the greatest things we have as an opportunity is to ask the audience that's going to eventually, they're the ones that are going to have it on their walls, or they're going to view it. We always want to get that input that tells us what is it about this painting that grabs the widest imagination of the public, you know? And so this was a great opportunity to, while I was doing these things, which it didn't really matter whether the book was purple, green, or otherwise, it was simply, why is it that they think it should be purple? Why is it that this particular mineral should be there? And it's amazing the input you can get in real time when you're doing live hand-painted work on something like Patreon. So that piece offered so many opportunities to do that. So aside from all the architecture and the anatomy and everything that I was going to get a chance to do that I hadn't had a lot of opportunity to do, it was also so interactive. So that's why I think Kairos the Archivist is one of my favorite pieces.
Please gather in that area by Adam, who should be waving his hands and jumping around. There it is. That's for the beta sealed event. Thank you.
Alright, here with David Floating Skull. How do you think the event's gone, David?
I've been running around making sure that things are firing, events are going off. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to talk to too many people. How have the events been going for you?
Look, I think it's been great.
Awesome.
It's been an amazing event so
Dude,
far.
I love hearing that. And yeah, every once in a while I'm able to like take a few seconds, someone comes up to me and is like, hey, I'm having a great time, and that's making it all worth it.
I saw Alex is playing a lot of events.
Oh yeah.
And you're not.
I played a little bit yesterday, but you know, someone's got to watch over things.
And you're the more responsible one.
Apparently, yes.
A huge shout out to Darryl StichflammeNZ for giving us this wonderful content. Thank you for supporting us.
And if you want to see more interviews with artists, you can click on this playlist where we've interviewed several of the artists in Sorcery. Thank you so much for watching, and a special, very heartfelt thank you to all of our Patreon and YouTube channel members. Your support means the world to us, and we can't thank you enough. We will see you in the next video. Bye guys.